Hi, we're Team 11, and we'll be talking about disaster management in Nigeria.
My name's Barnik Saha.
I'm Alvi Hassan.
I'm Julie Harmison.
And I'm Jay Chopra.
In 2012, Nigeria experienced floods that severely crippled the country and affected over 7 million people. Heavy tropical rains were just too much for the dams and caused massive flooding in the country. The poor technological infrastructure hindered the country from actively recognizing the danger, and it also hindered the response and relief. The country took a reactive role in the situation instead of a proactive role. The country needs to proactively protect itself in the future in order to mitigate the damage.
I'll be talking about prediction and anticipation. First and foremost, the major reason for consistent floods, as well as the catastrophic events in 2012, lie within water infrastructure in Nigeria. Staples across developed nations, including effective drainage systems, strategically placed dams, water diversion systems, as well as strong floodgates, are in no condition in Nigeria to handle even seasonal rises in water levels. This should be the first priority of the government in order to prevent future catastrophes. The greatest challenge with this is obviously the extensive cost that goes into infrastructure development, but a short-term cost would lead to a long-term gain. Next, I will talk about how Nigeria can successfully predict floods so that they have ample warning for preparations. This is a very specialized field and requires a lot of expertise in environment mapping and forecasting. Because of this, we highly recommend outsourcing and implementing an established system. The first option is the IBM Power 7 simulation system, created through IBM's Smart Water Initiative. This system, though recent, has had success in predicting water levels through rivers in at least 3 months prior to the actual floods. Although it has only been used in Nicaragua, it was implemented successfully. The next option is also based on a foreign system. The Surveyor system is a full disaster management system. In conjunction with NASA satellites, the program maps river movements, precipitation levels, and more to provide accurate predictions. In addition, it provides post-mapping after the disaster to see where the most damage has occurred. There are positives and negatives of both. The IBM system is reliable, has an extremely high-tech system that provides a long period of warning for floods, but is currently young and has no presence in Africa. In contrast, Surveyor has a regional center in Kenya, but also provides service for other disasters. Potentially setting up a system in Nigeria may be easier with Surveyor, but since the program isn't as specialized in flood management, the warning time is not as great. We believe Surveyor is more cost-effective, and so that should be pursued with more research. Thank you. Next, I will be passing it on to Jay.
As we've seen in the past, not only has Nigeria had issues with infrastructure and ability to predict, but also with its capability to respond to the unfolding situation. To solve this problem, we believe there must be a relationship between the victims, the first responders, and the people coordinating the operation that allows each group to effectively communicate their ideas.
Therefore, we propose the implementation of an SMS real-time response system, SIRS. This tool would allow coordinators to publish announcements about the disaster, such what areas are still affected or precautions people should take, to the general public. This would reduce the confusion, removing unnecessary chaos from first responders en route to rescue jobs, and maintaining order amongst victims. Similar to a program utilized in Haiti during the 2010 earthquake, SIRS would be very effective because the majority of the population relies on basic SMSing to go about their everyday lives. As of May 2012, some 101 million Nigerians, or 73% of the population, has access to short code texting, one of the highest rates in Africa. In addition, SMS puts the smallest amount of stress on a network out of all formats and can easily be configured to match various protocols. By having a more developed infrastructure, as previously mentioned, cell phone reception would be restored rapidly following disaster. Finally, SMS messages are saved locally, so recipients can easily access them if the network goes down again and can inform people not online. In Haiti, the system was known as Terra, was able to reduce fraud, spam, and bandwidth usage by cooperating with local companies to switch between networks if one was overloaded, and make sure there's no information redundancy. The system cost a mere $50,000, was valued at $3 million in terms of its positive impact on the relief effort.
In addition, by implementing a system similar to Ushahidi, a crowdsource of crisis information from the victims, first responders, and coordinators can be consolidated. Since crowdsourcing is free, there is very limited financial burden to the country. This will enable the country to focus its monetary efforts in other directions. Additionally, the crowdsourcing is constantly updated with real-time information. Victims' locations and needs will be gathered from text messages and combined with other victims' information. Coordinators can triage the information, deciding what area needs the most focus. This will enable a greater success rate and lack of wasted time and effort. Additionally, responders can work to help multiple victims in the time of need, drastically reducing any lost time. Responders can use the system to then report back to the coordinators for additional resources or feedback about the situation. The response will then be customized specifically to the current situation. Since all the rescue efforts are coordinated and centralized, the ease of documentation is increased. Statistics and reports can be created using the crowdsourced information, which can be developed into a narrative to tell the story of the disaster. This can be used in the future to assess the strengths and weaknesses of the This creates an educational value from these reports, not only for them in the moment of the disaster, but for in any future disasters.
Our final proposition is the implementation of a mobile financial system. After the earthquake in Haiti, some 30% of the buildings and branches of banks, microfinance institutions, credit unions, and money transfer operators were destroyed or badly damaged. In the days immediately following the earthquake, severe liquidity problems mounted as banks remained closed. Once financial institutions allow their customers to transfer money, pay bills, and maintain their balance through checks, the process of rebuilding the nation will accelerate due to the increased liquidity in the economy. Due to the prevalence of mobile phones, this will be easy to implement and will ensure a better future for Nigeria post-Nigeria.
So looking beyond these changes, we can focus on the reconstruction and long-term changes Nigeria should incorporate. Social media increases awareness for people who are not affected by the natural disaster and who want to get involved. Victims in Nigeria can use Twitter to give updates on their lives so others can see how they are doing. Others can find out what specific food or shelter they require. Also, if someone is looking for another person, Twitter can help by posting statuses of location. Volunteers can also help spread the word of the disaster with Twitter. Those outside of Nigeria can see updates on Twitter and can provide help. Skype can be a good tool to use when coordinating with organizations that involve relief for flood victims. Skype can help communications with victims and relief organizations like Habitat for Humanity.
The tool is free and allows fast, easy video capability. Skype can be used when helicopters or airplanes need to transport food or medicine to victims of the flood. Ushahidi is a nonprofit software company that develops applications that collect information for the purpose of visualization and mapping. Anyone can use this application and can journal reports firsthand. Ushahidi creates temporal geospatial archive events. With social media and the increase of awareness, more money will be available for Nigeria's government to aid the citizens of Nigeria. The next big step would be to incorporate STARS medical service specifically in Nigeria. STARS is a nonprofit organization that provides ambulance services to those in need. This branch of STARS should focus on transporting food and medicine to victims. This product should also
From the 2012 floods, Nigeria faced catastrophic damage to its infrastructure and people because of its poor physical development, but also failure to predict the impending disaster and coordinate emergency services. To mitigate these damages, our team recommends the following: Servier, a prediction system, as well as an SMS announcement system, and a version of Ushahidi to better coordinate response efforts. A liquidity restoring mobile banking system, STARS Nigeria, to bring aid to rural and underdeveloped areas, and finally a package of different social media tools to help victims physically and psychologically reconnect. All of these technologies have been successfully used in the past, and by partnering with different nonprofit organizations, Nigeria will clearly be able to implement them rapidly, mitigating the problems from the past. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you all for your time.